So, good morning. This is my reading for the week ahead, hoping to pick up on the collective energies and just offer a little bit of guidance to all of us for the coming week. So, I haven't been on Facebook the last couple of days. I just really took a couple of days to myself, which actually was really needed. Christmas wasn't quite as relaxing as I had foolishly thought it would be. So, I just had a couple of days with the kids, just relaxing, which was really nice. So the first card, the card for the coming week, is the Ace of Swords. Now, sometimes I look ahead at the cards, sometimes I just read them as they go, but today I chose to look ahead at the cards, so I'm just really going to see the two cards, show you the two cards for the coming week, and you can see we are in for a complicated week because we've got the Ace of Swords, which is truth. Okay, it is truth. The Ace of Swords is about how truth can hurt both ways because we have the two sides of the blade. This is the truth that sets us free. So the concept of this card is that the sword is thrust through the crown. The crown represents the material world, and the idea is that it's a bit like the Emperor's New Clothes, basically. And I'm not going to be specific on this. I don't think it's black and white. I think this probably refers for some of us to our personal lives, to others to our family lives, to our work situations, and obviously to the wider political scene as well. But this is about how many of us get caught up in living a life based on half-truths, untruths. And I think a lot of truths are going to come out this week. So we have the sword of truth thrust through the material crown. Now on either side of that, the blessing and these little flames here, these are yods, these are Jewish blessing. The idea is that however hard this is, because the blade is cutting both ways, it does bring blessings. And the blessings are, we have an olive branch here for peace, and we have a laurel branch here for victory or success. So this is going to be a complex week. And when I read the cards, I always try and look for the advice in the card as well, because the future's not fixed. Even though we can only control our part of our life, there is always advice there. And so the first advice is to speak your truth. Be honest. Have the confidence to say what you need to say this week. For some of us, that might be quite personal. It might be with friends, with family members. You need to apply this general concept to however it best helps you. Because the next card is the absolute polar opposite of the Ace of Swords, the Nine of Swords. This is about getting caught in your own headspace. Okay, we've gone from the sword of truth setting you free, setting us free, allowing us to have peace, to being overwhelmed, restricted, insomnia, stress, whatever you want to call it. The Nine of Swords is almost sort of a mental catastrophe. Now, I think a lot of us on a global sense are feeling this, are feeling that we are not coping particularly well with it. For those of us in the UK, the third lockdown. This is a card of just not coping. Now, the key to this is I know it's hard to see, but on the quilts, we've got red roses. And the red roses represent the physical world. So if you're not coping right now or in this coming week, if you are struggling to speak your truth, and let's be honest, if you've been telling somebody, it could be, like I said, it could be a friend, it could be a loved one, it could be a boss, it could be anyone. If you've not been quite saying what you need to say to this person, then suddenly speaking your truth can become quite overwhelming. You can overthink it. So if that's the sort of the narrative that's working for you with this one, the key here is the red roses. Get up and do something. Write it down. Go for a walk. Don't allow, this is your mind creating a trap. We're all in control, however hard it is, of our own mind. So whether you are being overwhelmed by the bigger picture or by the smaller picture of trying to speak your own truth, or perhaps listening to somebody's truth that is uncomfortable, don't allow it to build up. The red rose is here. Get up and do something physical. Okay, it gets you out of your head straight away. With the Six of Cups, I mean, it really is an incredibly, I mean, I think I could probably, apart from the fact I have a client coming up, I could probably talk for 3 hours just on these three cards. As a tarot reader, I'm so excited by the connections between them. But for the Six of Cups, I've got two very distinct meanings to offer you. Really listen to both of them and apply whichever fits you most. The Six of Cups is often childhood wounds. So it may be that this truth that you're speaking or listening to is something that is triggering you from deep from your childhood. We all do that. We all have stuff that we don't want to look at, that we don't want to address. So that may be why you're having that deep reaction. So really listen to that. Listen, am I being triggered? Is this reminding me of something that was really traumatic? And when I say traumatic, that can be, the death of a pet or not. It doesn't have to be what we think of as sort of, really dark secrets. It's something that was really hurtful at the time. Okay, so don't allow anyone else to define your hurt or your trauma. So watch out for that. You may be being triggered, you may be being over it, you may be overacting. And the other element of the Six of Cups is that simple pleasures, nurturing your inner child. For many of us now, life has got much smaller. Life has got much simpler. It is about having a game of cards, doing some crafting, reading a good book, chatting to a friend whilst you have a cup of hot cocoa, on Zoom or phone or whatever. It is about nurturing your inner child. It's about keeping it simple. Maybe for many of us, life just got too complicated before. Maybe this is a benefit for you that you can return to simple pleasures. I know I've started doing some art again. I haven't done art for years. I've never quite had the time, not since I was in Orkney, which is incredible. Yeah, and it's quite nice to think, actually, now I'm not driving the kids around so much. I've got that tiny little bit window of time to play around with colour again. So, yeah, whether it's you being probably a bit of both, being triggered from childhood hurts, but also reminding you to nurture your inner child. And the card at the bottom of the pack, another, some cards are really simple, but others are have so many layers to them. I am really drawn just to one meaning from this card. If you look at the background, look at the ocean, look at the waves. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous the way it's drawn. Pamela Coleman Smith definitely wants us to see this as I think my internet went down then, so I'm hoping I'm still on. So Pamela Coleman Smith definitely wanted us to see this as a storm, okay? You can apply whatever political situation you want to that. I'm not going to possibly define that. But this guy has got his back to the storm and he's juggling. Do you know what? There is a time to turn off the news, turn off the internet, and get lost in a good book or a walk or a chat with a good friend. We don't need to be bombarded by whatever that storm represents to you all the time. We will cope with it a lot better if we get mental space and mental breaks from it. I feel a million times better for taking 2 days off when nothing catastrophic happened. I had nothing I needed to do. And I do feel an enormous amount better. And I didn't watch the news during that time. I checked the headlines this morning. So switch the news off. Not the whole time. This isn't about disengaging. It's about giving yourself the space that you need. And with these cards, for you, maybe it's very personal. Maybe you know straight away what it is you need to say or who it is you need to listen to. Maybe it's much more the bigger picture for you. Whatever it is, get those thoughts, get those words out. Even if all you can do is to write a letter to somebody that you need to speak to and then not send it, just burn it or get rid of it, that still gets the words out. And simple pleasures this week. Keep it simple. Keep it nice. Keep it comfortable. And switch the news off, switch the internet off, however you're getting your information, switch it off and allow yourself some time to really relax. So I hope that has been helpful. I am back with card of a day now. Just yeah, I just totally hit a brick wall and thought, that's it. I am not even picking up my tarot cards for these 2 days, and probably much needed. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe, and I will be back tomorrow.